Oh, what if you're sick tomorrow? Oh, you're going to hell. Oh my gosh, you're going to die lonely. I'm sure you've heard some of these statements. Here's the thing about people who fearmonger. They don't know what's in the future. They don't even know if they're going to heaven. They don't know if they will be in good health tomorrow. So who are they to tell you what your future will be? And here's why I don't tolerate it. Hello and welcome. My name is Chido Mpofu. I'm your personal emotional intelligence detective. Welcome to the Fit with Chido family, where we go beyond physical fitness, striving for mental and emotional fitness. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get notifications. Today, let's talk about my favorite topic, fear-mongering. I have experienced a lot of fear-mongering from family members, friends, strangers, you name it. And I always find it funny, but I didn't start this way. In the beginning, I would give into it because these people who use this tactic are using your fear and your guilt against you. Once you start seeing it that way, and you realize that what you don't know about your future, someone else can't possibly know about your future. Therefore, their advice is irrelevant and unimportant, especially if they are trying to use your fear and guilt against you. Anytime someone is trying to get you to do something and they have to use a negative thing to convince you to do it, we are now playing in the ring of threats. We're not very far from threats. Just because the harm they are projecting, it's not them doing it to you, does not mean that it's not a threat. So if someone is telling you that because you don't agree with them, or because you're not willing to be in a relationship with them, suddenly your future is doomed. How is that to your benefit? Who are they to tell you what your future entails? Who are they to tell you that you have no choice? Because that's what it is, right? So I've seen fear-mongering in so many places. The easiest example is religion. This is when someone has a different religious belief or they don't have religious beliefs at all, and they interact with someone else who makes religion their identity. Whenever this type of person sees someone who has different beliefs, they take it as an attack on themselves, and they can't deal with this, so they threaten the other person. Instead of having a normal conversation like you would have if someone was saying, I like this, I believe this. Someone else says, oh, that's interesting, I believe that, or I believe something else. You can hear each other and understand each other in that situation. But when people make things their identity, sometimes they can't handle you having different beliefs. And this is the reason behind a lot of religious wars, religious violence. On an organizational level, fear-mongering is used to get people to comply. On an individual level, it then looks like someone claiming that you will go to hell. That's crazy because you're supposed to be preaching love according to your religious beliefs, but suddenly now you're saying you're going to hell and wishing ill upon someone. Whenever people use this threat, the whole you're going to hell or you shall soon see, you shall soon see, whenever people say these negative things, it's always funny to me because one, they don't know if they're going to heaven. So who gives them the power to tell me what is going to happen in my life? Secondly, I always have this rule of thumb. If someone is using the word will and they're talking about your life and it's not to do with a task that you have to do in the future, they're lying because they don't know what the future is. Whether they know it or not, they're lying. You can't say to someone, this will happen to you. You don't know what will happen to the person. The reason why I always preach that don't listen to people who give you advice that it's not even advice, it's abuse. Don't listen to anyone who fear-mongers you, because one, it's manipulation. They are not allowing you to have your own choices and decisions and beliefs. Two, they're trying to make you feel bad about yourself. If someone is saying that, oh, one day you're going to be sick and you're going to need people, or one day you're going to die and no one will come and be with you. Like, these are things that people who fear-monger will say to you. They are literally thinking of negative scenarios about your life. They are projecting negative things onto you. If someone is giving you advice and it starts to sound like this, I would be careful of that person. I would be distrustful of that person, because you can give someone advice. You can tell someone, hey, I think you should think through walking away from this person and understand, are you looking at things as they are? Or maybe you misunderstood something. That's something you could say. You don't need to say to someone, oh my gosh, you're gonna die alone. Like, no one wants you because you just walked away from this person, or whatever it is they're saying to you. Oh, you're going to be sick and this is the only person who'll be able to help you. These people are projecting a lot of harm onto you, and people don't realize this. Like, if someone is giving you advice and it starts to sound negative in this way, it starts to sound like a threat, or they're cautioning you in quotes, but actually putting violent imagery into your head, that's abuse. A lot of people mistake cautioning someone with fear-mongering. Let's say I say, hey, if you jump off a building, that's the end of your life, depending on how high the building is. That's not fear-mongering. I'm telling you facts that can happen if you're not careful. And it's for your own good. I'm not forcing you to do something that is clearly harming you or that you don't want to do. So I really want to drive this point home. People who fear-monger, they're using your fear against you. If you have fear of loneliness, abandonment, fear of afterlife, death, things like that, they're using your fear against you. And never assume these people want the best for you, because they don't. They just want you to comply and do what they want. That's all it is. This is a very important topic because I see fear-mongering every single day. And now it's funny to me, but there was a time when it wasn't. And I know there's still some people who are not realizing that the people in their life are fear-mongering them left, right, and center. So please share with your friends, share with everyone around you. Fear-mongering is not okay. It's abuse, and these people don't actually care about you. In this episode, I used religion and walking away from relationships as an example. There's many examples where fear-mongering is used on people, and I'll leave that up to you to look at your own life and your own experiences and ask yourself, when this person was giving me advice, was it coming from a place of, I want you to do better, I want you to make the most out of the situation? Or was it, I think you should do this and I am going to use your fears against you to get you to pick this decision that I think you should make? People who fear-monger never think about your best interests. They never think about how you're being impacted by a certain situation. It's all about, how can I get this person to see my point of view and agree with it? And also, when you don't agree with it, then the threats start flying. Next week, we'll talk about toxic scenarios and situations that we as a society have normalized to the point that people do not even realize these are toxic. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get notifications. My name is Chido Mpofu. I'm your personal emotional intelligence detective, always keeping it real. See you next time.